Morning, morning. Happy early Thursday. Early morning for me. I was hoping that I'd be able to get up in time to be able to do this morning, last night before I went to bed. Seems like it's been forever since I've been on here and done this. It's probably because we went out of town. That's why, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. 'Cause I'm sitting here thinking, man, I ain't been on here and blab very much in forever. Hang on a second. Holy dough. Anyway, I got this mapped out so that in an hour, it'll be time for me to go get the kiddos up and get this day started. So, anyway, early morning for me. I knew it would be too, man. I knew it would be an early morning because I crashed out early. Crashed out early. Man, I got back from the gym last night and I wanted to do Pisces. I just did Pisces a few minutes ago, but I wanted to do that last night. And when I got home from the gym, I was just so zapped and zonked. I couldn't do anything. But anyway, hello Virgo Earth. Yeah, I was kind of planning, kind of sort of. You can't really plan for it. I haven't. If I had it my way, if it was up to me, every single morning I would wake up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed between 4:30 and 5 a.m. That's perfect for me. I love it. Between 4:30 and 5, bam, snap awake, brain rested, body rested, feeling good, feeling fired up. Well, it doesn't happen like that every morning though. I don't know why. I don't know what it depends on. Even if I go to bed at seemingly a decent hour, I don't know. Probably something spiritual, knowing my goofy ass, my higher self, probably fucking frolicking around, the planet, working on the grid. I don't know. I have no idea. But it was one of those mornings this morning, though. So what y'all up to? What y'all up to? Had your what? I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about here. Had my first night. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that dude. Yeah. That was a neat little video he made there, shouting me out and the other readers. That was cool. That was cool. There's so many other readers out there, and I always say, and every now and then I'll do it. I'll say, okay, well, let me go ahead and see what's happening on the tarot scene, and I'll start looking around, and I just can't focus on a tarot card reading for very long anymore. Like, I'll go to search, I don't know, Aquarius tarot reading, and all these videos pop up, man, and I'll be like, all right, well, let me see who this person is. Click. And I'll get like 30 seconds to a minute into it. And I'm like, all right, I'm bored. Let me see this person here. And I just can't sit and focus on them for very long anymore like I used to. But I looked at a little bit of that guy's stuff. A little bit. Anyway, though. What's up, Leandro? Yeah, hit that gym. Today's actually my rest day. But yeah, that I even like people don't even realize what it takes to get on a track of health and fitness. And there for a couple of months, for like maybe 2 months, I actually legit went into some depression. That's how bad I hated it. Like for maybe three, I'd say 3 months max, but for a couple of months, I was depressed. I was like, dude, oh my God, this sucks so bad. I have to get up every day and go, this is so painful. My body just hurts all the time. I can't walk up the stairs. Like my body just hurts. I'm not resting well, and I hated it. But I vowed to myself, man, there is no other option. The only other option is be a fat, nasty slob. That's the only other option. It's the only other option. I was getting pretty fat and pretty nasty. I was getting pretty damn disgusted with what I saw in the mirror. And I'm like, well, it's either be that fat, nasty slob or feel this every day. And that's just where I was with it. Everybody's different. Some people are skinny and are trying to get big. I was the opposite. I was big and I was trying to shred off my fat. But yeah, it took a while. Now, though, I look forward to it, especially on those groggy days where I'm real groggy and I'm like not motivated. And I'm like, oh, I'm bored. I have no energy. I have no motivation. I know that what I need is to go to the gym. When I go to the gym, chug me some pre-workout, get a good hard workout in. I'm like, yeah. And then it fires me up and I'm motivated for the rest of the night, you know. That's why it's the reason why I do most of my work. I prefer to do most of my work on my main channel in the evening when I'm done with the gym because it gets me fired up, you know. Well, yeah, there you congrats, Tam Tam, on the 16 pounds. That's good. That's good. Oh, yes, I was a fat dude. Oh, yes, I was. Oh, yeah, I was pushing 300 pounds. I was pushing. Oh, yes, I was. I was pushing 300. I think, and I've heard this from a lot of people too. A lot of people, when they meet me in real life, they're like, God, you're way bigger than you look on camera. I'm not no little dude. I'm about 6'1". Right now, I'm about 205. I was pushing 300. I was a fat fucking dude. Yes, I was. Oh, yes, I was. I was about 260, 270 and climbing. Between like 260, 270 and climbing. Oh, yes, I was a fat dude. Absolutely. The camera, people always say that I look smaller on camera. Like I remember Everyday Masters one time. Y'all know him. Well, me and him are friends on Facebook. And this was even back when I was fat. And he goes, there is no way you weigh that much. You look like you weigh 180 pounds. The camera takes off weight off of me. I look much smaller on camera than I do in real life. I think that may be another reason why people don't approach me in person either. I mean, people do approach me sometimes, especially if they're real drunk here in Vegas, you know. But I think like when I see in the comment sections, you know, how many times I see in the comment sections, oh, I passed you on the strip and I was too afraid to say hi. I saw you at Walmart. You know, I'll see that all the time in the comments. And I think that one of the reasons may be not only do I look mean, my natural face looks mean as hell, but I'm a lot bigger in real life. I think when people see me in real life, they don't expect to see a dude that's over 6 feet tall and I got a big rib cage. You know, even back in the day when I was real skinny, there was some points back in the day when I was like starving, I couldn't afford food, and I was real skinny. People were still scared of me because I got a big rib cage and my shoulders are real wide and broad. People always ask me if I play football. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Oh, trust me, I was a fat dude. I look different on camera, you know? But anyway. No, you didn't see me in real life. You didn't see me in real life. I looked horrible. I posted the before and after pictures of like, well, okay, not only that, but this whole trend about chubbiness being attractive, like this has disturbed me from the day this started. Okay. You all know how intricate eugenics is, don't you? Oh, yeah. Oh, it's very intricate. It's very intricate. And subliminally brainwashing you into believing that being fat is sexy and attractive. It's worked on a lot of people. It's worked. All you got to do is get a couple of celebrities saying it, put it on a few memes. Ooh, get you a guy with a dad bod. And, you know, the dudes are like, hey, you know what? Women like this now. Okay, let me just go get me some McDonald's. Fuck it. Let me just go get some McDonald's and some Burger King. Yeah, this is sexy now. Now this is the new sexy. Yeah, give me that Big Mac, you know, and you destroy your health. You'll end up dying of cancer. Population control. I wish that was my opinion. That's not my opinion. Trust me. That's what they do. That's exactly what they do. So I've never fallen for that brainwashing. I don't think being unhealthy is attractive. I just don't, especially on me. If that's you, that's totally cool. Totally cool. But I don't care how many people say I look great. I was very unhealthy, period. Very unhealthy. Very unhealthy. I could barely walk up the stairs without being out of breath. My health was declining very quickly. So look great in one hand and shit in the other. I really don't care. I was unhealthy. My health was very bad, very bad. And I've had to take it upon myself and climb one hell of a mountain to get my health back in shape. And now I'm in the best shape I've ever been in my life. And I love it. I love it. I need to get me some incense going. Holy dough, y'all. Hold up. Oh, anywho. You know it's transition time when I say that. Anywho. All right. Let's get the good vibes in the air. Get them vibes in the air. Burn it like you just don't care. All right. This is my favorite. This is sandalwood. All righty. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely population control. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. They've been, well, I don't know how much I should talk about this here on YouTube. I don't want to get flagged, but, oh, yeah, it's pretty extensive and pretty deep, and it's been going on for a long time. It's been going on for a long time. That's all I'm going to say about that. If I start going too far down that path, I don't know. That's what you join my Telegram channel for. And I know I haven't posted much on Telegram very much. It's because it's really hard to be motivated to post on a platform if my audience is small, and I only got like 200 people on there. You know, now if I had like 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 people on there, I'd be much more motivated and active on Telegram. But there's only a couple hundred people on there, so I'm not motivated to post a bunch of stuff on there. So anyway, well, yeah, it's once my audience builds up on a platform like that, then I'll go much more in depth and whatnot with that kind of stuff. But yep, absolutely. Yep, exactly. Brittany Bailey. Yep. I want people to get fat. I want you to get fat and unhealthy so you die. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not a theory. I've met people who are connected to elite groups. It's not a theory. I promise you that. It's not a conspiracy theory. It is a conspiracy fact. Mm-hmm. I gotta shut up about this. We gotta change the subject, man. I don't know. I don't know how safe it is. I've heard lots and lots of rumors out there, lots of theories that, you know, the good guys are in control. But just to be safe, they may be. I'm sure they are in control of a lot of things. But just in case. Anyway. Anywho, what y'all up to, man? It is 6:12 in the a.m. here in Vegas. I'm bored as hell. Today's Thursday. Got all of our Christmas shopping done. Well, most of our Christmas shopping. Got most of it done. This is that time of year, man. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think I'm alone in this, am I? Where Christmas time, well, here in Vegas, it's very different. But still, the whole vibe, the whole Christmassy vibe, you know, when you walk into the stores and you got all the Christmas decorations everywhere and it's playing Christmas music. It reminds me of being a kid in the 90s. For some reason, I don't know if this is just because it was my childhood or what, but that 90s Christmas vibe is always what comes to mind. It always takes me back to, you know, the mid to late 90s, and it gives me that warm, fuzzy feeling inside, you know? I miss it, dude. For me, when I was a kid, like there's some people that say they hate Christmas. You know, I've met people that say, I hate Christmas. Even when I was a kid, Christmas was horrible. I'm like, damn, that sucks. When I was a kid, Christmas was awesome, dude. When I was a kid, my grandparents raised me like that, to where every Christmas Eve, the whole family would come get together and exchange presents. And then Christmas morning, we would get another bunch of presents under the tree, you know? So for me, the way I was raised, it was fun. I liked it. It was very enjoyable, you know. But anyway, yeah. So we got all of our Christmas shopping done, getting them, and I love having the studio decked up like this, dude. This is all Dollar Tree shit, man. It's all Dollar Tree shit. Yeah, and the smell, yeah. The only thing is kind of a little bit of a bummer. And this year here in Vegas, it's warm as hell, dude. Last fall was cold. It got chilly. It got real chilly. I got any Vegas locals watching? Man, this year it's like way warmer than it's supposed to be. They even said like it'd be 80 degrees in the daytime. You know, and I'm like, damn, man, at least give us some cool temperatures. Like right now, it's pretty chill. It's probably about 40 or 50 out there right now. But during the day when the sun comes out, So you take your jacket off, it gets all warm. I love it when the air gets all cool and cold and you smell that frost smell in the air, you know? It's hard to get that here in the desert. On a real good cold day, you can smell that cool, crisp air feeling, but we haven't really had very many of those yet this year. Of course, it's not even technically winter time yet until, is it the 23rd of December? Is officially winter time? I think it's the 23rd or 21st. 21st. Yeah. But anyway, talk about Maine. Why? And not really a whole lot to talk about. Not really a lot to talk about with Maine. It was a kind of a boring chapter in my life. I mean, boring. It was a lot of healing. There was a lot of healing done there, but it was very boring. Very boring. There was nothing to do. It was a very small town, you know, very small town with nothing to do. And I spent most of my time working at a car wash. The majority of my time was spent at a car wash, scrubbing cars. That's all I did, man. It's probably a good thing that it was boring too, because if it wasn't boring up there, I never would have started reading tarot cards on YouTube. That's the only reason I started doing it, because I was so bored on my days off. On my days off, the girl I was dating worked. So I would have nothing to do on my days off, but just walk around this teeny weeny little one horse town, you know, so ungodly boring. And yeah, I was like, man, this will give me something, a fun project to work on my days off. You know, put a couple of these tarot reading videos up, and maybe I can get a few thousand people watching me, and hopefully, within like 2 or 3 years, I'll be one of those like 50,000 subscriber channels. You know, I had 50,000 in the first month or two. You know, first month or two, had 50,000. Oh, damn it! It's a good thing it was boring, because if it wasn't where I lived at that period in time, if I wasn't bored, if there was a lot of shit to do, if I lived in Vegas back then, I never would have started doing that. I never would have started doing that. There's always something to do here in Vegas, man. Always something to do here in Vegas. If you live in Vegas and you get bored, that's your own damn fault. Okay, this is like the city where there's always something to do. I think I said this the other day, but I feel like you could live here in Vegas and you could live your entire life here and do something new every day and still not do everything there is to do here in Vegas. You know, you could eat at a new restaurant every single day of your life and probably never not eat at all the restaurants here in Vegas, you know? So yeah, not really a whole lot to talk about with Maine. Not really. It was a very, very healing. The universe put me up there for a very specific reason. I see the reason. It makes perfect sense looking back as to why the universe took me and put me there in the middle of the forest. Like basically there was a river running through my backyard. You know, my backyard was the woods, the forest. You know, you look out my back window, all you can see is forest. And you go walking through the foresty area, there's this big river running through. Very, very healing. You know, that is the most nature I have ever lived in my life. And like the different kind of bugs, I would see a new kind of bug every day that I'd never seen in my life. You know what I mean? Every single day I'd see a new weird, funky flying thing. Like, what the hell is that? The wildlife was insane. Be sitting on your porch smoking a cigarette and a chicken will just walk up to the porch. I swear to God. Just sitting there puffing away, you know, just sitting on your front porch. All of a sudden, here comes a fucking chicken. Like, what the hell? Whose chicken is this? You know, just a random, I don't know if it was wild or what, you know, bunny rabbits, raccoons, skunks, you know. It was interesting, but there's just not really a whole lot to talk about, you know. So, yeah, in the creek, Tam, that was the river behind my house. It was the apartment that I lived in. It was the apartment I lived in. And that's what I would do. I would, on my days off, I would spend all week working at the car wash thinking about the next video I wanted to put on YouTube, because that was my hobby. I did that, you know. Okay, let me go all the way back. Let me go all the way back and rewind. Shortly after I climbed up out of being homeless and went through the homeless shelter and then got out of there and started working jobs. One day when I was bored walking around downtown Louisville, I got drunk and made a video about Aquarius. And I put it on YouTube. and I totally forgot about it. Just in my drunkenness, boredom, I made a video, and apparently I made a few videos. This wasn't something I just randomly did once. So I remember making these videos, but I don't remember putting all of them on YouTube. I don't remember that at all. I thought I put them on Facebook, but apparently I got drunk and I put all these videos. Like I made one video about the sign of Aquarius, one about Cancer, I think one about Taurus. But I was drinking very heavily back then, very, very heavily. And I don't remember putting them on YouTube. You know, I don't. I was shit faced wasted in those videos, dude. Like I said, I've struggled with alcohol the majority of my adult life, and I was always a very functioning alcoholic. I could be blackout drunk and you wouldn't even know it, you know? So I didn't even remember putting these videos on YouTube. And then a year and a half later, when I'm living in Maine and I'm in the middle of manifesting self-employment, I'm building a network marketing business, and all of a sudden, my own video gets recommended to me in my YouTube feed, and it's got like 20,000 views, and I'm like, "Whoa!" You know, that was huge at the time. At the time, you know what I mean? I've never gotten more than a hundred videos or 100 views on a video before. So my video gets recommended to me with like 20,000 views. Right around that time, I start getting all these messages in my Facebook inbox. Hey, do more videos about Aquarius. Do more of those. Do more of those. And I'm like, oh shit. So I was like, well, I don't remember how to log into that old account. You know, that account that I put those on, I just made me up some random ass Google account because somebody stole my phone. And I went to the dollar store and got like a $20 phone and just had to make a Google account to turn the phone on. And I don't remember what email address I used, don't remember the password. So I didn't know how to log into that account. So I thought to myself, well, I wonder if I could pick it up where I left off and do a part 2 to that Aquarius video. And I wonder if the algorithm would link up, you know, because it was the same. Rich Lott, my first and last name, was the same on that old channel, and it's the same on my Google, the Google account that I have now. So I was like, I wonder if I do that part 2, the brutal truth about Aquarius, if the algorithm will connect the dots that that's me and start recommending that video to all the people that watched the previous video. So I was like, well, let me try it. I'm going to try this. And sure enough, it did. It did. The algorithm recognized my face. It recognized my name. And it took that video and threw it to all the people who had been watching the first video. And then I was like, okay, well, this is a fun little project. This will give me something to do on my days off. So I would spend all week at the car wash thinking about the next video I was going to make, you know, and just thinking about it and how I'm going to word it and what I'm going to say and whatnot. And then on my next day off, when I had nothing to do, I would take my cheap little $20 tripod, little Walmart tripod. You know, you go back to in Walmart back there in the electronics, and they got them little accessories and shit. And I got one of them little tripod, little skinny little $20 tripods. You know, I'd take that out to the woods and set it up and make me a video for my YouTube channel. And they did pretty good. They started getting pretty good traction. They started getting pretty good views, like, you know, 2,000 views, 5,000 views, 10,000 views. And my subscriber count was, to me at the time, I thought it was growing pretty good, pretty fast is what I thought, you know, faster than it ever grew before. I had like 1,000, almost 1,000, not quite 1,000. I had like 900 subscribers. And then after a while, I ran out of shit to say. This went on for, I want to say maybe 6 months. And that's a real rough guesstimate. I don't even know, honestly. It went on for a few months, me making different videos about Aquarius and stuff like that. And then I run out of shit to say. And I'm like, well, damn, I'm running out of things to say. Everything that I have to say about this, I've already said. So that's when I started getting that little intuitive calling. Well, I've been spending all this time learning how to read these tarot cards. What would happen if I did that? Nah, man, I couldn't do that. That's not the reason I picked up tarot cards. The only reason I ever picked them little shits up was to try to gain clarity on my own situation, because I wasn't getting the clarity I wanted from the YouTube general readings. You know, that's the only reason I bought the cards. That's the only reason I obsessively studied them and learned how to read them, was so that I could read my own situation and try to get clarity on it that I wasn't getting from the YouTube general readings. And that didn't happen. It didn't happen. I was pulling the same thing the YouTube readers were pulling. It was the same message, same damn thing. So after a while, I was like, well, damn it. Well, fuck, that was a waste of time, I guess. You know, and I just kind of gave up on it. And then I started thinking, well, what would happen if I put a couple of my own tarot readings on YouTube? Maine being boring is the only reason I did that. If it wasn't so fucking boring up in Maine, if I had anything else to do to occupy my time up there in Maine, I never would have done that. Never would have done that, you know? So it all worked out beautifully. It was like a plan. It all worked out beautifully as planned. Yeah, yep. Your guides will push you. Yep, they will. Yeah, they pushed me too, man. It got so loud. I argued. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I had me a subscriber count that I thought was really good. You know, it was like 980. You know, and I thought that was good. Man, if I start doing this tarot shit, everybody's gonna unsubscribe from me, and it's just gonna, nobody's gonna watch me. Nobody's gonna listen to me. You know, that's what I thought. I was convinced of it. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna sacrifice the following that I built and just and lose them all and have everybody laugh me off YouTube, you know? But that calling kept getting louder and it's like I could hear my guides in my ears screaming at me, you know? And finally I couldn't fight it. A couple months of fighting against that calling. And I finally said, all right, fuck it. You know what? Let me just go ahead and try it. And we'll see. We'll see. So, bam, man. I was like, I felt kind of embarrassed too. I was like, oh, yeah. Okay, universe. I knew that. Just seeing if you knew that. But anyway, man. Anyway, I'm just a babbling and just a rambling. Let's see if I can burn a hole in this. Oh, here's Rich playing with fire. This is the inner little kid coming out in me. Inner little kid coming out in me. I was a little pyromaniac when I was a little kid, man. I was dangerous. I was one of the little kids that played with fire. I was one of those little kids that played with fire. My grandpa was a chemical engineer at GE. So he had all kinds of chemicals and shit out in the garage. All kinds of random, I don't even know what, probably very, very toxic, poisonous chemicals that I shouldn't have been playing with. He even had a half gallon of acid, you know? And I'd play with that. I was a dangerous little kid, man. I'd play with fire. I'm just by the grace of the universe or God or whatever. I never burned the house down, you know, and just thankfully I've never experienced anything bad like that. But I was one of them little kids. Set a dumpster on fire. Ooh, I'd be too scared to do something like that. I'd be too scared. I would play with fire like in my own little garage where nobody knows and nobody sees what I'm doing. I'd be way too scared to go set something on fire of somebody else's though. But never burned the house down, luckily. Yeah, me too. Man, and it's sometimes I get to reflecting back. Like, man, what about me was so weird and nuts? You know what I mean? I was nuts too when I was a kid, man. I was filled with anger and rage for some reason. I don't know if it was the trauma of my childhood, like my early childhood, you know, of going through the abuse with my parents and being taken away from them, which I don't remember any of. I mean, I've heard the stories that are apparently very horrific, but I don't remember any of that. I have no memory of that. All my memory takes me back. My grandparents were the only mom and dad I ever have really to my memory. That's it. Everything else is buried under my subconscious, you know? So for some strange reason, I was an angry kid, dude. I was an angry kid, you know, like very angry and very mean. I don't know why. I think back and I'm like, damn, why was I like that, dude? You know, I was just filled with, I think that The demonic infiltration got to me when I was a very young kid, experiencing trauma. You know, those demons came in when I was experiencing trauma at age like 2 or 3, and they just been living with me my whole life, and I didn't even know it. You know, so now here I am in my early 30s battling the demons finally. You know, so now don't be sorry. It's part of the journey. Part of the journey. Part of the journey. That's what I signed up for. That's what I signed up for. So, looking back on everything, everything seemed to work out and flow very beautifully. It seems like the plan's working out great. So, ain't no big deal. I don't have anything from my past that I would go back and change. I really don't. I really don't. I would not. If you put a time machine in front of me right now and said, man, you can go change anything, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I love my life too much. I love my life too much. I wouldn't go back and change anything. Nope. But anywho, yeah, we choose our lives, or at least even if we don't like plan it out, it's at least agreed upon as a possibility, you know? And then every time you say this, there's always somebody in the comments. Always, always, always somebody in the comments that wants to say, oh, what about these horrible things that happen to children and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, dude. If you think there is anything that can happen to any entity who comes into this life that is against their will, that they didn't either plan or at least know that it was a possibility before they came in here, and that just shows how spiritually dead asleep you are. Okay. On the other side, when you're not in this human body, we do not view things at all like we do as humans. It's a completely different perspective. A completely different perspective. So, and to me, I'm one of those types of people. And Naya, like I shared, hey, go look at my community tab. Go look at my community tab. I posted Naya's video last night where she talks about the trauma that she experienced as a kid. It doesn't get much more traumatic than what she went through. And she went through about the worst of it, And I know that I had some trauma too. I really don't remember it. It could have been worse than what I was told. It could have been better than what I was told. I really don't remember it. But apparently it was pretty bad from what I've heard. But there's nothing I would go back and change. Everything flowed together beautifully. Everything flowed and worked perfectly, and all the dots of my life connected. And now I'm in a place where like I'm just a happy person in general. You know what I mean? Just a happy person in general. I don't know. I don't have any regrets. Of course, I also don't think I was meant to come cycle through the earth game over and over and over. I came here with like one specific job in this lifetime. So I'm not playing this game the same reason that a lot of other beings are playing this game. I came in here for a purpose with a mission. There's a lot of you out there too. We're all on the same team. I just like to use the phrase light worker. I like that phrase, but you can call it whatever you want. You can call it starseed, volunteer, light worker, whatever you want to call it. But that's just always the name that stuck out most to me is light worker. So, and I always knew it. Ever since I was very first introduced to that concept, to that idea. And I'm fresh out from under a bridge, you know what I mean? Living in homeless shelters. And the very first time I ever even heard the concept or the idea of a light worker, I already knew I was one, I already knew it. It burned in my soul, dude. At the time then, though, it was really, really hard to paint the picture, Everybody in my family laughed at me, made fun of me, and called me stupid and worthless and this and that. Because, when you got this, deadbeat piece of shit who hasn't seen his kids in a couple of years, who's been homeless, saying he's a light worker, and most people are prone to look at that and laugh, But I just knew I was. I knew that I was. I knew that I had a path to walk, And there's a lot of you out there on that exact same path. A lot of you out there. Trust me from experience. Speaking from experience, a lot of times, whenever things get the darkest, that's how you know things are about to get really good. That's how you know. The more darkness you experience, the more light you're going to experience later on to balance it out. That's the law of duality. Right now, currently, we are in a dualistic dimension. This dimension is dualistic. Everything has to balance out eventually. Everything has to balance out eventually. You ever notice this? I notice this a lot nowadays. That you ever have just a bad day for no reason? You know, you just wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Energy is just fucked. Your vibe is shot. You're just not having a good day. You know, we all had those days. Well, in a way, I kind of like that. I kind of like that because I know that if not the next day, here real soon, I'm about to have a really, really good day. You know, a really good day. So that light and that dark always has to balance out. But keeping things balanced is the key. That's the trick that I've been working on for the past few years, you know, because you don't want to swing back and forth from one end of the spectrum to the other, you know, be like bipolar. I'm not bipolar. I was tested for bipolar, and I'm not bipolar, but I do know very much how it is to sway from, like, you know, being in a really bad mood and then a couple of days later in a really good mood. It's not all in the same day, though. I don't experience all that in the same day. If I wake up and I'm in a bad mood, I'm pretty much in a bad mood all day, you know. And if I wake up in the morning and I'm in a good mood, for the most part, I'm in a pretty good mood all day. So I'm just rambling. I am rambling, totally rambling. Yeah, well, I don't think we can really throw out the bad energy, because in this dimension, like I said, it's dualistic. Good and bad have to exist together, just like right and left have to exist together. What it is we train our focus. We train our focus. You know what I mean? Remember, we've been talking about this the past few chats, that you've all met at least one person who's addicted to negativity. You've all met that one person. They're addicted to it. And they don't even realize it. They're addicted to being angry. Mm-hmm. They'll turn on the TV and purposely watch things that they hate. They'll get on the internet and purposely watch people that they hate, you know, because they're addicted to negativity, because that's all they have trained their mind to focus on their entire life. Okay. So it's not that you're going to throw out the bad energy. It's that you're going to rewrite your own brain to stop focusing on negativity. See what I'm saying? You're not going to do away with it. You're not going to do away with it, and you're not going to get rid of it. Okay? Right now, what we've been experiencing in the third dimension is a predominant, like, the scale has been very uneven. You know, it's been mostly negative, very little positive. We're about to tip that scale. Okay? We're about to tip the scale to where everybody's focus and perception is focusing on and creating more positive than negative. See what I'm saying? Because that's what the whole third dimension was built on. The entire third dimension is held together by the fabric of fear. Think about it. You ever sit back and think how many fear-based decisions we make on a daily basis? Washing your hands. Washing your hands. That's a fear-based decision. Locking your doors. That's a fear-based decision. Dude, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And the more you sit and think about this, you're like, dude, this entire life that we were born into and brought up in is all held together and constructed by the fabric of fear. Every bit of it. Every bit of it. Fear is what drives every decision that we make and everything that we do. You know? So we're tipping that scale. We're tipping that scale. Those of us, I know there's a bunch of you watching that are on the same team. You know, I'm on that team with you. We're tipping that scale. Then now, I don't think you're going to get rid of and completely eliminate bad. Not really. Now, maybe in the fifth dimension, whenever the planet gets to that 5D state, then yes, that may completely wash out all negativity, all fear, and that'll do away with that. But right now, while we're still in linear time space duality, we're not going to do away with it. Part of that process of ascending up to that point is shifting your focus away from fear and anger and low frequencies, so that we're not focusing on and creating things that resonate with those frequencies. You see what I'm saying? Because we do it with our perception. We do it. You get a whole population of people focusing on and creating things out of fear and anger, and that's how the third dimension was created. We're undoing that right now. We're undoing that. Dig what I'm saying? We're all creating it collectively. We're all creating it collectively. But anywho, don't want to hear TV. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, what we have to do, and this is what I've been talking to Andrew about, my trainer, Coach Drew, is that we have to make it mainstream common knowledge how much power and control you have over your own mind. That's what needs to be mainstream. Okay. That's very hidden and very suppressed. How much power you have over your own brain chemistry. If we started teaching this in the schools, and if the doctors would start telling this to their patients, this entire world would completely transform and change. That you have the ability to program yourself. You have the ability to manipulate yourself. That's not mainstream, though. That's not mainstream. Those of us who do figure that out constantly try to teach everybody the message, but it's very hard to get people on that wavelength. If you want things in your life to change, I can't say it's easy, but it's easy at the same time. It's as simple as forming a new habit. That's how simple it is. That's how simple it is. Forming new habits. Forming new habits of thought. And I know I've told you all this a million times, but it is as simple as me. When I decided that I was going to be successful, I started telling myself I am successful. And no, I didn't just become successful overnight. It took me about a year and a half of telling myself all day, every day, I'm successful. I'm successful. I am successful. I am successful. Same thing with my fitness journey. I've been telling myself I am fit. I am in shape. I am fit. I am in shape, programming that into my subconscious, burning that into my subconscious, So whatever you program into your subconscious mind is what your subconscious mind will sniff out for you. You don't even be realizing it. Subconsciously looking. See, because right now what we have a lot of people doing is their subconscious mind is looking for things that make them angry. Their subconscious mind is looking for things that piss them off and irritate them. And that's all they tune into, and that's all they pick up on, because that's all they've programmed their subconscious mind to think about and focus on their entire life. And it could have started when they were kids. Having parents programming kids to be afraid, programming kids to enslave themselves with their own mind. And we got to undo that. And we're getting there. We are getting there. But anyway, love being a light worker. That's cool. Yeah, it has its ups and its downs. Being a light worker. It's definitely had its ups and downs for me. Definitely. But I think for me, I would have to say my favorite part about it is getting to a point where I've created a life that I live on my own terms. That was all my goal really was to begin with. But whenever you finally become completely and totally okay with living whatever life you want to live on your own terms, because we're so wrapped up in fear of judgment. You know, you know how many people out there are holding themselves back because they're afraid of being judged? You're going to be judged anyway. You're going to be judged anyway. There's nothing you can do to escape that. You know what I mean? Nothing you can do to escape that. No, no, there is nothing you can do to escape that. You're always going to be judged. There's always going to be angry, miserable, toxic, hateful people who don't want to see you do good. They get angry, they get jealous, they try to cut you down off the mountain that you're climbing. You can't let that hold you back because you have no idea the life that's up over that mountain if you choose to get up and climb it. You have no idea. And all those people judging you, they have equal access to it too. Every last one of us has equal access to get up off our ass and start climbing the mountain, you know? So that has been my favorite part about being a light worker. It's led me to a very unconventional lifestyle, a very weird lifestyle, you know, very strange. It's very hard to explain to people. You know what I mean? But it has its ups and its downs. Some of the downs, though, especially being a light worker that's here with a mission, you know, of like being a healer or being a teacher or whatnot. The downside to that is the universe has to bring you the most broken people. That's the hard part. That's the hard part. Like I said before, I said this in one of the last chats. If you want to be a healer, number one, first you have to be broken and then learn how to heal. That's number one. Number two, if you want to be a healer, you're going to be dealing with broken people. You're going to be dealing with the most broken people on this planet if you want to be a healer. Think about it. A lot of us don't take that into consideration. They don't take into consideration that there's two big things that you have to be prepared for. Number one, you have to be prepared to be broken. You got to prepare to be broken because you will get broken so that you learn how to heal. And then you have to be prepared for the universe to bring you broken people, which can be very draining and it can be very taxing. Okay. So it has its ups and its downs, just like anything in duality, you know, just like anything. Yeah, they have to want to make the change. Yep. You have to want to make that change. That life that you want isn't going to come knocking at your door. It's not going to come knocking at your door. You know, the life that you are currently living is an extension of your energy field. And if you want your life to change, you have to change your energy field first before your outside world will begin to change and mold to fit that new energy field. You know, we get wrapped up in this idea, and I know I've talked about this a lot, but we get wrapped up in this idea that the manifestation will change my energy. Your energy is what changes the manifestation. You know, once the right lover shows up, then I'll feel whole and complete. Once I make enough money, then I'll feel, you know, free and relieved and no stress and whatnot. It's not the way it goes. That's not the way it goes. You have to allow yourself to stop being lonely first. And then the universe brings you the person that aligns with that frequency. You have to give yourself permission to stop worrying about your money first before the universe will make sure that you don't have to worry about money. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? But yeah, you do have to want to make that change. You have to want to make that change. And when do we change? When do we change? Any of us? Anybody? When do we change? Under stress. Under stress. Like a refrigerator in a machine press. You see those? Y'all see those videos? You know, they'll be like little reels or whatever, and they'll have that machine press, and they'll put something like random and arbitrary in it, like a motorcycle or a can of paint or a refrigerator, and then the machine press will just press and press and press and press and press till it goes bow and basically explodes. You know, that's what the universe will do to you. The universe will keep applying the pressure and applying the pressure and applying the pressure and applying the pressure until bang, you pop and explode. Yep. that's when we change. That's when we make that change. So, but I mean, everybody goes through their own experience and everybody has their own unique path. But I'm just saying, just person to person, I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't recommend trying to battle the universe. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. It's like putting a fucking hot dog in a machine press. You are not going to withstand the pressure. The universe can put you under more pressure than you can fathom. Universe can put you under more pressure than you just don't try to battle the universe. I think that's a fixed sign thing. I think we fixed signs are worse with that. Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo. We're the worst ones with that. We always tend to think that we get that fixed mentality, like I'm just going to bulldoze through it and I'm going to stand up to the pressure, and the universe will just keep applying the pressure. You're like a hot dog in a machine press, dude. Come on, man. You know what I mean? We think that, yeah, I'll stand up to the universe. Universe ain't going to outsmart me. You're a hot dog in a machine press. I mean, you're nothing. Nothing. The universe will just squish you, dude. So I would, just from personal experience, I would recommend that you don't do that. Don't stay there in the machine press like I did. That's what I did. That's exactly what I did. Yep. And then it just obliterated me, obliterated me. But, no matter how it happens, the universe, your higher self, it'll all work out in the way that suits your evolution the best. So anyway, though, y'all, about time for me to get out of here. This 51 minutes done flew by. Thank you all so much for listening to me blab and run my mouth and letting me get my brain all fired up for the day. This helps me just as much as it helps y'all. I appreciate you. I don't know what I'll be doing today. I have no idea. Today's a rest day from the gym, but I'll see you all sometime later on my main channel doing some kind of readings. All right. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day.